Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello and welcome to Total Retail Talks. In episode 192, Editor-in-Chief Melissa Campanelli sits down with Stephanie Maes, Vice President of Retail Performance at AdoreMe, and Keith Sherry, CEO at StoreAdvise. Listen in as they discuss how AdoreMe and StoreAdvise work together to bring smart fitting rooms to stores, and how data from RFID technology has improved store operations. All recorded live at the 2019 NRF Big Show in New York City. And now, on to the show.
Hello everybody, I'm Melissa Campanelli. I'm the editor of Total Retail, and we're excited to be here at NRF with some great folks who are going to talk a little bit about RFID and other types of cool technology. So we have Stephanie Maes, who's the VP of Retail Performance at AdoreMe, and Keith Sherry, who is with StoreAdvise. So why don't we get started with Stephanie, and how about you tell us a little bit about, I've heard of AdoreMe, but maybe other folks haven't, so tell us a little bit about AdoreMe. What's it all about?
Sure. AdoreMe is an affordable lingerie brand that launched in 2012 as an e-com startup. We offer fashionable and trend-driven product in inclusive sizing. So today, about six months ago, we launched our first retail store and went from clicks to bricks. And really what makes us unique is that combination of fashionable product and inclusive sizing. Many of our competitors offer inclusive sizing in a basic product, and many offer fashionable, trend-driven product in standard sizing. But that combination of the two is really what makes us unique.
That's interesting. Where are you based, by the way, AdoreMe?
In New York.
Oh, okay, cool. So I understand that you're using sort of technology such as RFID and smart fitting rooms to improve customers' in-store shopping experiences. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we know that customers are in a very vulnerable state when they go to try on lingerie. And we know that when customers enter the fitting room, our conversion goes up quite a bit. So we're really looking to make customers feel at home when they enter our retail stores, and using RFID technology allows us to do that because we have smart fitting rooms. And so what that means is that when customers enter our fitting room, they're able to request alternative sizing without ever having to leave the fitting room.
That's great.
And our sales associates are notified and therefore can service them accordingly. So the idea is that once you get undressed, you have the best possible service by interacting with the video screen in the fitting room.
Does that use RFID technology, or is that a different application?
So it's through the RFID technology that the product registers in the fitting room on the screen.
Got it. Okay, awesome. And I understand that you're using StoreAdvise, and we have Keith here from StoreAdvise. I'm sorry. So why don't you tell us, Keith, a little bit about the StoreAdvise platform and how does it work?
Yeah, so I think what's a little bit different about what we've done in terms of our approach to the market. RFID has been around for many years, of course, but specifically been used in the inventory management side of the business. We know the ROI associated with that. I think what we've seen is now the next wave of utilization of RFID and how it can better engage with customers. And the fitting room is one example of how we're able to have that transaction directly with the consumer. But more specifically, as Stephanie rightly said, because they can request a different size, color, style, we do need to ensure that that color, style, and size is actually available in the store. So it's this correlation between the inventory that is in the store and the consumer's awareness. And as Stephanie said, it's then about the alerting of the sales associates so they can give that personalized service. So they not just try on the right thing, they can bring the right color and really help the cross-sale and upsell opportunity for the consumer. So our platform is bringing three things together: the classic inventory management, the consumer engagement, and also the activity associated with the sales associate itself. Yeah. So really providing power into the hands of the sales associate so they can provide a better customer service.
So was that maybe one of the reasons why you were drawn to StoreAdvise?
Absolutely.
Because of those three things?
Absolutely. You know, being an e-com business, we are very data-driven, and we wanted to look for a unique way to leverage data in our stores. And also, we want to make sure that we're offering the best customer service. So this allowed us to do both.
Right. That's great. Yeah, I feel like the store associate is a big part of the equation, and sometimes that's not thought of when thinking about technology applications. That kind of brings me to my next question, which was, what level of training was necessary for AdoreMe's in-store employees to get them comfortable and confident on the StoreAdvise platform? Can you talk about that a little?
Absolutely. So what's so great about StoreAdvise is it's very intuitive. So essentially, all the training that needs is they just have to interact with the technology. So if you were to pick up product in the store and enter the fitting room, all of it would be available, and all the information that's entered in the fitting room technology goes directly to a mobile phone that they hold on to at the store. So the mobile phone beeps and it tells you, in fitting room number 2, please bring size 32C of this particular bra. So it's quite intuitive, which means that there's very little training necessary.
Oh, that's great. And how frequently are they logging into the platform on average, like in the store?
Every day, every morning.
Right. Okay, cool. And do you have any examples of how data captured in store has been used to improve store-wide operations? Because after all, that is what the goal is, to improve operations.
Yeah. So
and customer appreciation as well. But
so there's 2 main data points that we've looked at, and that is, what are the sales associates bringing into the fitting room? So what are they recommending? And how many items? So UPT is a big piece of the puzzle, and so are they bringing in 3 items into the fitting room when they bring a customer to the fitting room? And then the second data point is, what items are customers bringing to the fitting room and not purchasing? So if we see that an item is brought into the fitting room a lot, but the purchase rate is low, what does that mean? Is there a fit issue? And then we can relay that information back to the design team and start to consider why. It's a very popular item, but once they get in the fitting room, it just doesn't work.
Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think it's really interesting you say that. And what I love about what AdoreMe has done in the past and where they're going as a company is because they've driven the organization around analytics. They really know exactly who logs onto the site. They see where that mouse is moving through. They understand what they're putting into the cart, and they understand what's being checked out. Those are very key, distinct points along the consumer journey. It's very And they recognize the importance of that. So when they've moved into the store, then getting those same points of conversion is absolutely critical. So they are very smart, very advanced in their thinking, and that's why I've got so much belief in their ability to accelerate this growth to 300 stores over the next 5 years, I think, Stephanie, is what you quoted. Because, by giving them these various points of conversion in the store and providing that real-time analytics, it's going to help them understand what to do, when to engage with the consumer, but also Stephanie and I were talking earlier about how they can identify if things are being tried on in the fitting room and they're not being sold. I mean, that I think has perhaps a challenge for the designer. Stephanie, was that something you were alluding to?
Yes, absolutely. We take that information and if we see a trend in what's being tried on, we bring that back to our design team and reconsider fittings.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you what are some of the other business benefits, and that's kind of one of them. I mean, it's sort of edging into merchandising. It sounds like you're kind of, the technology is allowing you to improve a lot of business processes as opposed to what it's just there to do.
Absolutely, and we've found that the fitting room experience, particularly in the lingerie market, is so important. And so, we're considering things like, do we expand the fitting room, and how do we...
Wow.
And looking at how long the customer spends in the fitting room, and really how do we enhance that through our customer experience as we build more stores. So, constantly using the data to drive decision making.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been exciting for us as well, because they've taken us on this journey. Stephanie, who's been at the forefront of leading the charge into the store itself and shaping how that's going to look and how it will transform and how it will grow, feeding that back into the technology. We're very user focused. So if we needed to redesign, if we needed to add things, bring in things like reviews and recommendations to help them on that sales engagement with the consumer, then that's something, again, we're very excited about working with such a leading retail technology company, because really that's what they are. We see so much, I think, noise going on about the challenges in retail, and specifically I think in some of the big box retailers. Sears have had some challenges, and then you see the excitement of these younger brands who are just not coming in and say, okay, we're going to just throw 200 or 300 stores in. They're doing it in a very, very focused approach, and they're learning along the way, and again, they're teaching us, and we can react accordingly to their needs. So
it's great. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of excitement going on in retail. You can tell by the show here today how busy and crowded it is. Well, I think that's probably all we have time for today, but thank you so much for joining me, Keith from StoreAdvise and Stephanie from AdoreMe, and hopefully we'll be able to chat again in the future. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and now on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.